Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show, and we are back.
We are back. It's myself, it's Greg Powers, it's Ashley Pickle. We were supposed to have shows on Monday and Tuesday, but we didn't.
Because you missed me so much.
And the reason we didn't is not because Pickle was on an illicit drug bender in the Northwest. The reason...
Sure.
No, I said it's not because. Like I'm saying, that's not why we missed
Ah,
the show.
okay.
You know, I was pretty clear about that.
Okay.
This is a really interesting thing because this is a real two societies type issue.
Is it?
Yes, hear me out on this. There's a segment of the population who has young children or are around young children on a relatively frequent basis.
Okay.
That this is a huge deal. And this is a lot of what we, I can say because I'm part of that, are talking about right now. And then there is the other segment of the population, the larger segment of the population that does not have young children or does not have, square up, hello, or is not around young children very often, that does not know that this is happening, that this is just like, it's nothing burger. And what I'm talking about is that there is a stomach bug or a stomach flu that is just straight up ripping through daycares and elementary schools right now across the nation. Like, all of my friends who have kids are all dealing with this right now or have dealt with it like in the last month. So Friday, we're upstairs. We're watching Cars 2.
Solid choice.
It's Max's or Hank's choice. Max could have chosen, but he didn't. Because Max was too busy at that moment throwing up on my wife.
Mhm.
So he pukes. That's bad. It's bad. He's 3 months old. You don't want kids puking. Keeps puking. Okay, go to the doctor, get some medicine, blah, 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 this and that. I think we're past this. But the doctor does warn us. He says, hey, by the way, this thing, once it's in your house, bad news, buddy. Sunday night, put Hank to bed. He wakes up about an hour later. Bleh. All over his bed. He throws up. Great, now we got 2 sick kids. All right, well, maybe I'll just run in here and do a show. My wife and I are... My wife figured out she had 1 extra day of maternity leave, which is great.
Oh, nice.
So she's like, I can stay home with the kids. You run in, do the show, come back. We have a plan. Go to bed Sunday night. Sunday morning about 6 a.m., I wake up. Now, I think I'm actually... I know that the meme about men and like whenever they get sick, they're just big babies.
That's
right?
110% a fact.
Okay. Yeah, they're big babies when they get sick.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm here to tell you that I think I have a pretty strong stomach, and I think that I'm actually, like, unless I'm actually really sick, I can tend to power through a lot of things. I power through with whooping cough on this show for like 3 months, so I can get by. When I tell you that I felt like my insides were going to burst out like an alien movie, it was horrible. Awful. And then, to cap it all off, Monday evening, my wife says, boy, I'm not feeling so good. So this thing rips through the entire Tepper household.
Not fun.
The good news is, I'm okay now. This thing usually lasts about 24 to 36 hours. I'm okay. Max and Hank are back to normal. They're back at school. Mm-hmm. My wife is still at home. She's feeling better, but like she hasn't eaten a full meal.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. How was your weekend, Pickle?
Mine was great. I was on a trip in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot better than yours. Although I had food poisoning, so I get it.
Yes.
Like I had it 5 days before you did. I get it. Like that's not fun.
Jen, I'm not trying to blow up my wife's spot, but my wife literally slept on the floor of our bathroom for like an hour on Monday night because she just like...
You can't get up.
She's like, I can't, and I need to be right here. Like it's
awful.
Brutal, and like ripping through their daycare and stuff like that. I'm sure because you had children who were young once, Grev. I know I'm preaching to the choir.
I've been relatively healthy.
Have you just like you
just exfoliates health.
but you've had things that have ripped through the Powers household, though, right? No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. Like I can't. I'm so old, and my kids are so old now. I can't remember what they did when they were your kids.
Boy,
like
I feel like
I remember some things happened. Things happened.
No,
what they were is more mysterious at this point in my development.
I feel like I'm gonna remember this because
I just scouting break down my fatherhood
because I lost like 5 pounds over the course of like 24 hours. Yeah,
I was definitely a 2-star like sick dad. Like if you were sick in my house, that's pushed off to...
Oh, really? You wouldn't deal with it?
I was a 2-star sick dad.
Yeah, I was not good at that kind of stuff. Not that it's most sympathetic either when it comes to...
Rub some dirt on... Well,
that's... Oh, my God. Yeah, there's LP.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You had all boys?
Yes.
That's the other problem. The other problem... If they were girls... No. If they were girls, you would have been like, oh, honey, what can I do for you? Oh, my God.
That is absolutely not how that works. My dad says, rub some dirt on it. LP's a different character, though.
I don't know.
He doesn't... That's...
I don't know. I've met your dad.
Yeah.
Like he was
there's no sympathy.
I am a bad sick, though. I do.
You're bad at being sick?
I
Every
fit
man
that
is.
description.
Every man.
I would be interested to hear my wife's take on it, but like basically I would try to help out, but I would be on my feet for like 3 minutes and then I'd say, I need to go lay down again. Like it was that bad. So thumbs down, wash your hands. Hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the arrow sign. Yes, yo! From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show back at full strength. My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of the places, or you'll listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, back from a sunny, sun-baked vacation.
It was
She is
not
lunch to
sunny.
the door. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi. Quite the opposite of sunny.
You were in Seattle.
I was in Seattle. Seattle is fantastic.
It's awesome, right?
Loved it. Could never live there. Absolutely could not live there.
Yeah.
It is consistently cold and raining. It's just dreary.
Just
like
cloudy.
and it's great. It's great for that and like cuddle up, eat some chowder, like that kind of stuff. It's great.
Chowder.
But like
What a romantic you are.
Yeah.
Cuddle up. Here, honey,
Dude, I had
spoon me
so-
that chowder.
No, dude, I had so much chowder this weekend. It was great. They were like, the people I was with, I knew some of them really well and some of them not as well. And they were like, you really like soups, don't you? And I was like, big soup girl.
Quote I've never heard before.
Big soup girl. I want that cross stitch on a throw pillow.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that.
Those other dulcet tones you hear belong to Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst at Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Avid soup hater.
I'm not an avid soup
No.
hater.
just because we're not big soup gals
I
doesn't
never-
mean that we are soup haters.
Well, you
I
should
think
be.
soup is fine. I've eaten my fair amount of soup recently and
Yeah.
served my fair amount of soup recently. Hi, Greg.
I like chili.
Today's Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. Every podcast is somebody's first, and I hope this is somebody's first. 246 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to the head coach of those Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd. Happy birthday, Coach Kidd. You're doing great. Go Mavs. Episode 1354. On today's show, my friends, This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers and Next Level Athlete. We've got news and notes from the recruiting landscape all across the Lone Star State. In the back half of the show, Powers caught up with the new star wide receiver at Rockwall.
Right.
Like it's kind of like Lake Travis and Westlake quarterback, right? Katy running back. There's a couple of other positions that U.S. Trinity running back, South Lake Carroll quarterback, places like that, and then like Rockwall wide receiver.
And we definitely asked that
Yeah.
question in the interview, so great segue.
The new one there, Rockwall wide receiver Noble Johnson, talked with our Greg Powers coming up here at the back half of the program. But first, big soup gal, do we have first four through the door?
We do. It was Rob Hadaway, Aaron Arbuckle, Tony Blaylock, and Ed McElroy. Welcome in, fellas. Also, Texas Bob said that chili is meat soup, which is fair.
Sure, yeah. I guess that's true. I know. I think I've said this before on the show. I think the what will eventually get me run out of Texas is my opinion that like I don't actually care if there's beans in chili. Like
You're kind of indifferent on it.
yeah, it's fine. Like if there's beans in chili, like that's cool. If there's not beans in chili, like that's also cool. I think people get too many fights.
We
about
need to
that.
go to a chili cook-off just to cover it
I
or
gotta
something.
give me like another week. let
That not really tickling your fancy there, bud.
Let me eat some grilled cheese or like
I don't mind beans and chili. I'm just going to flip them out, but I mean, I'm not going to not eat the chili.
No, I don't know.
Or I'm going to flip out a majority of them.
I just don't think that's worth fighting about. I think people take that.
And
too
there's people
seriously.
that will straight up eat like the Wolf Brand chili out of the can
No, that's-
that are the ones that are complaining about this. And I'm like, I don't think you get a say in chili.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that take.
Thank you.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
In Cruton!
This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter. Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And of course, Pickle. This is brought to you. Oh,
I have a story.
by
Finish
our
it.
Good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express.
Here
The
with
best
this
Ashley
chicken
story.
and catfish and home cooking in town.
I love it. Go Pickle.
Yesterday, as I was driving back from the airport,
This is so bad because Powers had that teed up. He's like, I'm ready to talk about Chicken Express.
No,
the Pickle thinks she has a better
setting
story.
Pickle up.
there was as I was driving back from DFW Airport yesterday, there was an 18-wheeler in front of me, and on the back side of it, like all I could see is it said, "Follow me to," and then it had Chicken Express, like it had the logo, and I was like, say less. Where are we going? So anyway, that's what the back of their 18-wheelers say. Follow me to Chicken Express. I almost did it.
Oh, you almost did it.
Yeah.
This is a story about something you almost did.
Yeah.
Did you know they have fried pies?
Fried pie.
Okay,
I do know that.
That is something I've never had their dessert.
That seems like a hole.
Yeah, it's a hole in my resume. It's a hole in my game. I admit it.
Now we got to do it.
Well, yeah, but
Got to
again,
make that happen.
Yeah,
It's hashtag fried pie season.
I think is it never not?
This is fair.
Yeah, it's true.
Good point. So this week in recruiting, Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. See, enunciate. Haven't done a show in 5 days. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, we're going to Aubrey to talk about their 2023 soon-to-be senior tight end and defensive end, Jet Runyon. Jet Runyon has picked up a pair of offers, his first two offers, one from Texas Tech and one from UTSA. I feel like that's going to be a common theme of like he picked up two offers this week. They were from Texas Tech and UTSA because this is kind of their ethos is finding guys early and getting in on them. And this is a guy that is who could see either side of the field, a true two-way guy there at Aubrey and Jet Runyon.
Shout out to I don't do this often, but shout out to my friends at Next Level Athlete who had an evaluation on this guy of February 11th of 2021.
Oh, wow.
Ahead of the game before he started getting his offers. And I do think you'll see a trend of UTSA and Texas Tech offers going out side by side a lot of the times. I think they're watching each other.
I think that
they may be using the same platform. I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, there are a lot of really good players in the state of Texas, and this is one that I'm torn on as far as what position or role fits him best. Most of his tape is front-loaded with offensive highlights, which seems to suggest does he prefer the offensive side of the ball. And if your name is Jet Runyon, you better be a good blocker, and he is.
Yeah.
So, like, his name fits what you see on tape, which is pretty cool. And on the defensive side of the ball, he was a statistic machine. He racked up, I think it was 20 tackles for a loss and 15 sacks, something like that. So he is a true two-way star on the high school level, and college coaches are just going to have a lot of fun arguing over which position he winds up in once he arrives on the college scene. It'll be a good debate.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, and again, kind of ticks a lot of the boxes of you get the feeling we know this is what Jeff Traylor and UTSA are about. We get the feeling in the early returns on Joey McGuire and Texas Tech that this is a similar type of thing of what they're about in the sense of maybe a little bit off the beaten path in Aubrey, right? This isn't, Galena Park North Shore
right.
or somewhere like that. That's always putting out big-time prospects. A little bit off the beaten path, but get in there early, be the first offer, and establish that relationship, and hopefully that carries you to the finish line. You certainly, it's easy to see why they like him. The kid is huge. The kid's got great size and can move really well for his size too.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good as a receiver. I think 350 yards catching the football in Aubrey's offense, and nasty. You just saw him just flattening a defensive lineman right there. So, I mean, he's a guy who could be a true inline tight end. They're not easy to find. When you're listed at 230, that means you don't have far to go to get to that desired, I think, college weight of playing on the line at like 240, 250 pounds. That's what they're going to try to bulk you up to once you get there. So he's already, 3/4 of the way to where he needs to be like a college starter.
Yeah, and by the way, UTSA is a program that, in the past couple of years, they have, used tight ends. Leroy Watson had a really nice year a couple of years ago, Oscar Cardenas last year. So they're not afraid to throw to the tight end, especially, and they kind of tend to be more inline tight ends.
Well,
there.
they got competition now. He's got a P5 offer, so UTSA is going to have to fight hard to get this one. We'll see how it plays out.
Most certainly. Let's move on to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week. It's funny. We mentioned off the top about like Rockwall wide receivers, right, being the new Lake Travis or Austin Westlake quarterbacks, or the new Katy running backs. Well, hey, the new Katy running back, Seth Davis, 2023 soon-to-be senior, has committed this week to Duke. goes to the Blue Devils, passing up offers from places like a couple of a few SEC offers, a few Big Ten offers. Ends up going to Duke, and Mike Elko hauling in a really impressive 3-star prospect here in Seth Davis.
I'm desperately looking for the top returning Texas high school football rushers in 2022 because I'm almost certain that Seth Davis fell on that list, and he was. He rushed for 2,460 yards, and he was 6th on the list of top returning Texas high school football rushers. So that was a pretty huge land for Duke. You know, it's not often that you see a lot of Texas high school football talents going out to play their ball in North Carolina, but every year it seems like they snag one or two who are really good. And this year it just happens to be a running back playing for what I would consider to be the most prolific running back school in the state. I mean, that could be argued, I guess, but when you think of running back, you think of Katy, I think.
I just don't.
I do.
I don't know if I can think of another. Like, there are obviously other places that have put out great running backs, but as far as being the running back factory in the state of Texas, I think it's got to be Katy.
I mean, it seems like they have a guy every year. I mean, it's just they just produce a lot of talent at that position. So
and the offense is conducive to spotlighting those guys too. You know what I mean?
Right.
They run the single back. They run they run a pro style offense and stuff like that.
They'll even sneak a fullback out there to block for him. I think this one's unique. This is a different style of Katy running back than what you've seen before. He's not a pounder. He's a guy who's super elusive and shifty in space. He can hide behind these big offensive linemen in that offensive scheme. And, you know, he's on you as a linebacker before you even know he's there. And then he has the feet to make you miss. So, I mean, I think this is a guy who's really going to have a huge 2022 season, and this will be like a household name. If you're a big Texan Live fan, you're going to be hearing a lot about him because he's going to be making plays week in and week out.
The other thing about him, and one of the things you mentioned that he's a little bit different from past running backs. What strikes me about watching his film and whenever I've watched Seth Davis, it feels like nobody squares him up. Like nobody really just like you see running backs, it's like they run into a brick wall and just like they get pounded. You just don't see that. Like he takes hits on his terms. He's elusive. That maybe you tackle him, but it's going to be he slips out of an arm tackle and then you grab him by the ankle or something like that.
It's hard to get a clean shot on him because he can make cuts at full speed.
That's exactly right. Just week in recruiting with Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Let's move on to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week is Keller Central 2025 quarterback.
Get used to it.
Keldon Ryan. He will be a junior this upcoming sophomore season. He picked up an in-state P5 offer this week from Baylor. It joins offers from SMU, Arkansas, Cal, Pitt, and Jackson State. He was a freshman starter and was pretty darn good, I would say. As far as being a freshman playing at the 6A level, I thought he acquitted himself pretty darn well. We've got him listed as one of the top 25 freshmen in our DCTF Rising magazine.
We do, and I think that sky's the limit for him. Evaluating quarterbacks a couple weeks back at the Under Armour camp that was hosted at Arlington Martin High School, there were some pretty good upperclassmen, but I thought he was one of the guys who really grabbed my attention. Legit 6'2". He actually looks taller than 6'2", just whenever he's walking around or whenever he come up and stood next to me, I was like, yeah, this is a big freshman. And I do think that he has a very high ceiling there. Keller Central was 2-8 this year. I think underneath of his growth and development within that offensive scheme, that they're a team that continues to get better and better. A guy who is a throw-first guy, but he's athletic enough that he can really make you pay, and you'll see a run here. But what I really like about him is his poise and composure for such a young quarterback. It's not easy to stand in the heat of the pocket and deliver some of the balls that he's throwing. He's pretty accurate and doesn't panic.
And that's not necessarily a light district either to just be thrown into.
No, he's right into the teeth of it, and yeah, he's had to battle, and this is a guy that you talk about starting as a freshman at the 6A level. That's heady stuff. There's a lot of freshmen. There are a lot of really talented freshmen out there who don't start as a freshman, and that those types of reps are going to pay dividends this year and next year and next year. It's kind of compounding interest there. So keep an eye on Keldon Ryan. Picked up a Baylor offer this week. Finally, let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week is Arlington Lamar offensive tackle Isaiah Robinson, and First of all, large child.
Yes.
That's a big boy.
6'7", 285 is what he checks in at. First of all, he's had quite a couple of weeks here.
Yes.
Let's start with this. We have him rated number 37 in our DCTF Hot 100. We have him the number 1 ranked offensive tackle in the class of 2023. You saw him at the Texas Top 100 Showcase in Dallas, and then he went to the Under Armour All-America Camp, and he was offensive line MVP of both of those.
Yes.
That's a hard double dip to do, and he was able to do it.
I agree. And the Under Armour camp does have some prospects that come in from out of state as well. He dominated repetitions at the Next Level Athlete Top 100 camp. Really athletic, big guy. Kind of sneaky good feet. If you were building an offensive tackle, I almost feel like this is the type of guy that you would kind of put together. He's one of these guys who will remind a lot of people of a Kenyon Green or somebody like that he has not only the talent to dominate the high school competition, I think that he has the upside to grow and mature within a college strength and conditioning program to be a true freak 2 years from now.
Yeah.
So I think to be able to sculpt him into the perfect guy. I think in a couple years there's going to be some college that's super happy that they're able to get Isaiah Robinson.
It's strange to say, but he's 6'7", 285, and you're like, and your thought is, we can work with this frame.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, we're like, we can make this into what we need to. If we need to hang more weight on him, we can. If we just need to bulk him up in the weight room, we can. There's a lot that you can do there. The fact that he's able to be that size and have that kind of quickness and have that kind of athleticism, that's going to stick around regardless of what you do with his frame. And that's what makes him particularly interesting. And I know he's already got, 23 offers?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and out of those 23 offers, I think Texas was his first offer. So I think the Longhorns could probably be in a decent position to pick up a commitment from him. Also list pretty solid interest in schools like Texas Tech, Miami, USC. TCU is on that list, kind of right down the street from Arlington. Lamar has been doing a pretty good job recruiting that area traditionally. So there are a lot of big-time schools on his list right now that he has under consideration, and he really can have his pick and choice of where he wants to go. And still, I think he's a guy that will get even more national offers in the spring evaluation period. When you're talking about the number 1 offensive tackle in the state, this is a known commodity, right? Like, this is a guy that everybody knows about. But I still think his offer list will get better. And that's not something that you usually say at this point in a recruitment. This is a guy who's on the rise, and he's the number 1 tackle in the state.
Yeah, he is on the rise. Another guy who's on the rise, but always number 1 in our state.
That one was forced.
It's Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter. Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Powers, stick around so that you can introduce the next segment.
I'll stay.
You sure?
I will stay.
Can we get him to stay?
He likes seeing me. It's you that we've got to worry about.
It's good to see you too, Pickle. I missed you.
I didn't miss you.
We're at Texas Football today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com is where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. Hey.
Hi.
Become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. While I was sick, I was still working on the 2022 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Please don't make my pain be in vain. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe so you can get the magazine mailed to you before it hits newsstands. That's TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Also makes a great gift.
It does.
So, Pickle's birthday is Friday.
Allegedly.
I know it is because it's on my calendar.
Well, we don't have a show Friday. So
Pickle's birthday is Friday.
I scooted around that one.
For Pickle's birthday, if you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe and use the promo code Pickle Birthday Celebration 2022.
You are totally not. This is not factual information.
You will not get any sort of discount, but you will get a subscription to Dave Campbell's Texas Football by paying for it. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Use the promo code Pickle Birthday Celebration 2022.
You gotta quit lying to the people.
Powers, who did you talk to this week?
We caught up with Rockwall phenom Noble Johnson, who really, really passes the eyeball test.
That's quite a sell. Here's Noble Johnson from Rockwall here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football out here in Dallas. Just got done with a little training session. I'm with Noble Johnson, one of the top-rated wide receivers in the entire state. Man, you had your breakout season on the field last year. Why don't you just kind of walk us through what that was like, really going out there and dominating the competition a little bit, setting your mark?
Well, it all started off with spring football and building my chemistry with Braden, and that's just where it all started. And then I started feeling myself getting moved up to varsity and just adapting to the speed, and then I started getting comfortable with it, and then I started putting my own taste into what I do, and that's where I just took off from there.
You mentioned Braden Locke. You know, he was a senior leader on the team last year. Now it's your time to be that senior leader for your team. How are you kind of taking the younger guys underneath their wing and starting to be that guy now for your team?
I wouldn't say it's just on me. I would say my class in general, the senior class, we're holding everyone accountable. If someone skips a rep in the weight room, we're on them. When we do sprints, we're ever on everyone, and just really holding everyone accountable and making sure that we're set for the next season.
Man, the wide receiver room at Rockwall has been pretty deep. Of course, you know, we covered 5-star Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's doing his thing at Ohio State. You're the next guy coming through there. What is it in the water at Rockwall that develops these great wide receivers, gets them ready for the next level?
I think it's just the culture. The culture brings everyone around, and I feel like we specialize at receiver, and the coaches that come through there, like prior to Coach Colvin, it was Coach Johnson. He was amazing. Receivers coach. He had a background being Odell's backup at LSU, and now we have Coach Colvin. He's an offensive-minded coach, and everyone that comes through really just puts us on the right path.
Switching gears on the recruiting front, man, a lot of schools are coming after you. We're not going to be able to talk about all the offers, but what were some of those schools that when they stepped up, it was like, wow, man, this is a huge eye-opener. This could be a life-changing experience for Noble Johnson?
I started off with Tennessee, my first offer. I was walking through the halls, and I get this phone call, and they said that this is Tennessee. I'd like to offer you for a scholarship. I broke down in tears, and it was just a dream come true, and that's where I realized I have to take everything seriously, and that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
I guess it is a huge shock when your first offer's from the SEC, and it's like a school that's rich in history. You know, everybody knows Tennessee. From there, man, how many offers are you up to? Can you remember any of the ones off the top of your head that were important to you?
The important ones were, okay, so in total I have 23.
Nice.
Important ones was USC, Mizzou because of the receivers coach, that Coach DK, Arkansas, Mississippi State because Braden's going there. We can continue the Rockwall legacy over there. And Baylor would be a nice pick.
Anybody that's still showing you a lot of attention that could pull the trigger next that could be maybe a factor in that whole decision-making process? Who are some of those schools that are still hot on you?
Texas Tech. I know the University of Houston. They've been on my radar and everyone. Who else? Ole Miss. Ole Miss has been
23 offers. There's not too many of them left out there. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, you got to pick a school. What's like something you feel like is important to you?
Most definitely. If I'm going to go to a school, I want to be certain that I'm starting and I get play time. I want to have a really good connection with the coaches. And just the people that surround me, I need them to better myself, and I also better them in whatever way that I impact them.
I don't know how many interviews you've done, but you did a great job, man. I want to say thank you for your time and good luck with the upcoming season and, of course, your decision-making process whenever it's time to decide.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
There is Rockwall wide receiver Noble Johnson. Was that you on the left or you on the right?
That was me on the left.
Oh, okay. You guys look so much alike and are very clearly two people from the same species.
Like Noble Johnson is what we all want to attain to be. You know what I mean? Like
the kid's like carved out of granite.
I don't think I can make myself be 6'3", but I could like really work hard and still never.
I was going to say,
still never.
Yeah,
no chance.
You're fighting an uphill battle. But in any case, there he is, Noble Johnson. I know the name. He's on the Hot 100 for sure, right? Somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was good. I don't have it pulled up at the moment, but check him out.
You mean you don't have it memorized?
I change it maybe too much.
Thank you.
I'll give you.
No,
I'll
Greb, don't give him an easy out.
Thank you, Greb.
It could change. I mean, that's why you should look at it weekly because it could change.
See, I set up the promo. That's really what we were
Let's go
doing.
over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
I guess we will do that as a programming note because obviously we missed the last 2 days, but we will have a show tomorrow. We'll not have a show on Friday. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, why don't we have a show on Friday?
We're going to speak to the youths and drop
you
some knowledge on
you-
the youths.
Yeah, you signed me up for this.
I did.
I don't know what I'm doing.
UNT has a media career Kickstarter day where a ton of media professionals, and it's really good list. Our friend I found out today, Whitley Pleasant, will be there from
Oh.
national ESPN. She's making her debut back here. So anyway,
Good.
big
I
time
miss
names.
Whitley.
Like we're
Small
the
fries.
we're the bottom level of it, but we're going to talk, and we do a speed networking.
Can I tell you a text message that I got from my mom this week?
Oh,
Speaking
yeah.
of North Texas alums, I get a text message Sunday, 6:54 p.m. Ted Emmerich on the North Texas game. Cool. I said that to
Let's
Ted.
go.
I said that to Ted. I said my mom's a fan. He's like, all right, that makes one. Anyway, yeah, Ted Emmerich was on the call at that,
So, yeah.
that North Texas Virginia.
There's a ton of people. You'll know. I'll show you the list. There's
Okay.
a lot of people there that you'll know.
Good. Okay. I feel less because if it was just like me and you and Mallory hanging out, it's like we can do that here.
No, yeah.
Okay. I don't
No,
have to
no,
go
no.
to Denton. It's going to do it for
We
us.
love the
Thanks for
940.
spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram. Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to Noble Johnson of Rockwall for being our guest. And thanks to Greg Powers, who was just great today on the show. I thought you were great, Greg.
Appreciate that.
For Greg Powers and Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today. Maybe. I don't know.